Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I will be reviewing the new Raikov Effect by Inspire 3. Now, this is a course. It's not really a course. I don't know how to put it. It's like, yeah, there's a course. This is written guide, and then they have a couple of audio programs. The course basically states that you can become an expert in any field within 15 minutes. That's the claim the website makes. So in this review, I want to explore whether this claim is true or not and my personal experience with this program. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so what is the Raikov effect? Raikov effect comes from this Russian psychologist with the name Vladimir Raikov. What Raikov did was that back in the day, he would put his subjects under hypnosis, and he would make suggestions to make them think that they were experts in this new field that these students wanted to study. And when he did that, what he noticed was that they actually started showing the qualities of this genius within their field. And with that, over time, they became experts in their field without having to go through the same rigorous studying and trial and error that other people would have to go through. And that is what this program tries to emulate. The difference between the new Raikov effect, the one that Inspire 3 has created, versus the original Raikov effect is that it does not use hypnosis, but rather it uses that theory. And then along with that, they use certain other powerful techniques. So they use placebo effect, they use acting as if, they use certain NLP anchoring techniques, and then they use visualization methodologies. And there's one super powerful one. I don't want to give it away because that's a big part of the course. They use that as well in order to make you think and almost anchor that expert energy within you, where you're in that energetic state where you're starting to believe that you are a genius within this new field that you want to study. The good thing about the program is that these audios are not super long at all. I cannot stand 40-minute, an hour long hypnosis videos. Those take forever. So that is something that I liked about it. My personal experience with this program was that initially when I got it, I was in need of a little bit of a confidence because I was in a place where I was recording a lot of videos, I was doing presentations and so on, and I needed that extra boost of confidence. So what I started doing was that I started using Tony Robbins as my expert, and I started emulating that, and I started using the audios with Tony Robbins in my mind, right? He's my expert. And I did notice that I started to act like Tony Robbins. It was really weird. I was talking like Tony Robbins. My mannerisms were like Tony Robbins. It was really strange to see, and the words coming out of my mouth were different. It's not something that normally would come out of my mouth, but with that energy within me, like I felt like I was almost talking as if a very refined public speaker. So it does work. It works very well. The only caveat here is that you have to know your expert really, 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 really well. Like really well. You have to read their biographies. You have to know them inside out. I have been immersed in the Tony Robbins world for a really long time. Like I have done his programs, I've done his audio books, I've done so much of that stuff. So it's not hard for me to immerse myself into thinking that I am Tony Robbins and then following the Raikov effect to go with it so that my being is kind of infused with those mannerisms as well. I also tried doing this for discipline and procrastination. So I have a friend who's like super focused. She's very, very disciplined, and I was successfully able to use the Raikov effect for that as well. The minute I was able to step into her shoes and use the Raikov effect on it, I found that I was a lot more disciplined as well. Now, the other thing over here is that along with knowing your genius super well, you also have to practice this a few times, because what happens is that you forget that you're not this person. It's not a hypnosis, right? It is, they're using these other techniques and they provide you with an anchoring technique with which you have to remember to use that anchoring technique in order to go back into the shoes of the genius. So you kind of have to remember to do that, and that takes practice. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, when you do it once, you will feel like you're in that elevated state, which will help. But then as you're doing the thing, you may kind of forget it, and you may forget to use your anchoring technique. So that is where the practice component comes in. You do have to practice a few times. The other thing that I noticed was that I feel that this program works amazingly well for soft skills. But as far as technical skills go, I'm not sold on you learning a new skill in 15 minutes. I personally don't think that can happen. You still have to learn a little bit. Even as I went through the course, they do talk about these people who learn technical skills, but then they also talk about them taking certain classes in order for them to learn the skill, and then they emulate that expert, and then when they combine both these things, powerful things happen, which is something to keep in mind. So for example, if I wanted to learn programming, I still have to know my basics of programming. I still have to practice programming, and when I get to the state where I know programming somewhat, yeah, I could step into an expert and start strategizing like them, start thinking like them, start talking like them, in order to get more clients, in order to step into that energy and become better at it. So I hope that makes sense. If you're someone who's looking to learn a new language, then don't think you can pop in an audio for 15 minutes and you're going to be able to become fluent in that language. There is definitely that technical practice you'll have to do along with the energetic practice. Like I said before, you have to know your genius really, really, really well. So you have to be immersed in their world. You almost have to take on their mannerisms fully, which is how you start becoming and start thinking like this person. The way I like to think of it is, for example, many of you may have heard of the power pose, right? Which is like you stand like in this Wonder Woman pose and the Superman pose, and you start to feel amazing, and you start to feel super confident. That's what it is. You're basically changing your mannerisms to the mannerisms of this person that you want to emulate. And as you do that more and more, you start becoming that person, and you start thinking like that person and acting like that person. So yeah, that is something to keep in mind. Like, it's not a magic pill. The copy on the sales page may certainly make you think like it's a magic pill, but then there is certainly that practice component as well. You're going to have to do that audio a few times. If it is a soft skill, it's going to be relatively easy for you to learn, but if it's a technical skill, then that's just something to keep in mind. Would I recommend this program or not? I would highly recommend this program, and there is a good reason for it. Is because there is something to acting like a genius. Miraculous things happen when you do that. Napoleon Hill writes about this in his book Think and Grow Rich. He has this technique where he imagines that he's in a boardroom and he's surrounded by all these experts in different fields, and they start giving him advice, and that is how he used to make a lot of their decisions. Eventually, those experts, like, they take a life of their own, and like they're giving all these powerful suggestions to him in order to carry out his work, right? So there is something to that. The course talks about Hillary Clinton doing the same thing in order to become an expert when she was a first lady. A lot of renowned people, a lot of experts within their fields do use this technique. There is definitely something to it when you immerse yourself in the world of experts and you visualize as if you are with them or you are them. You can start making these powerful decisions and doing powerful things. So even though from a rational perspective, it may seem like all this is woo-woo, it is a technique that works, and it is a technique that's worth exploring. So because of that, I highly recommend it. But I also would ask that you manage your expectations, right? It is not like a magic pill, as I said before. There is some amount of work that's involved in this. So I hope this review helps. If you're interested in purchasing this course, make sure you click on my affiliate link in the description box down below. That link, when you follow it and when you purchase through that link, you will get a discount code with it. So it will help you get the program for cheap. So if you have any questions on the program, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be glad to walk you through it. Talk to you all soon. Bye.